Forget diplomatic summits and polite press conferences. In the GWA, world leaders don't sign treaties, they settle their grudges inside the ring. Donald Trump entered the arena as the reigning World Heavyweight Champion, convinced nobody on the entire roster could touch him. Trump grabbed the mic to boast about his record-breaking reign, claiming he was the greatest champion in wrestling history. Before he could finish his speech, Benjamin Netanyahu stormed down the ramp, demanding an immediate title match. Netanyahu confronted the champion face-to-face, warning Trump that his title reign was living on borrowed time. Trump just laughed off the challenge, insisting that nobody skips the line in his promotion without approval. While the two argued, nobody noticed that the real power struggle was already happening far away from the ring. Putin and Xi were plotting a corporate takeover of the board of directors, aiming to control every match stipulation. Their plan was simple: manipulate the roster from behind the scenes and force Trump into a fatal multi-man defense. Meanwhile, a new threat emerged as Ayatollah Mojtaba Khamenei formed his own uncompromising heel faction. Khamenei declared war on both Trump and Netanyahu, promising to tear down the entire championship hierarchy. As rivalries multiplied, lone babyface Emmanuel Macron tried desperately to unite the locker room to preserve order. Macron realized that if the major heel factions took over, fair competition in the GWA would be gone forever. Just when Macron thought he could negotiate, wildcard Jong Un made a chaotic entrance to derail everything. Jong Un cared nothing for titles or rules. He only wanted to inflict maximum disorder on the main event scene. To regain control, Trump called an official contract signing to lock Netanyahu into a one-on-one match. Netanyahu marched down to sign the contract, eager to lock the champion inside the ring with him. Suddenly, Ayatollah Mojtaba Khamenei emerged from the crowd, marching straight into the ring to interrupt the signing. Khamenei snatched the contract right off the table and tore it into pieces before either man could react. Chaos broke out as Netanyahu lunged at Khamenei, sparking a wild brawl right in the middle of the ring. Trump grabbed his championship belt and quickly scrambled out of the ring, leaving his rivals to destroy each other. Watching from the entrance ramp, Putin and Xi smiled as their competitors weakened one another. Behind closed doors, Xi finalized a legal clause that rendered all previous match contracts void. Putin then confronted Trump in the hallway, presenting the board's new ruling with cold precision. The board had officially decreed that the title would be defended in a no-disqualification multi-man elimination match. Trump realized he was trapped. There would be no disqualifications, no countouts, and nowhere to run. Seeing an opening, Emmanuel Macron approached Netanyahu to propose a temporary truce against the heel alliance. Netanyahu rejected the offer outright, insisting he needed no help to destroy anyone who stood in his path. Meanwhile, Jong Un ambushed Putin in the parking garage, eager to eliminate the strategic mastermind early. Putin easily shoved Kim back against a concrete pillar, proving that raw force wouldn't work on him. Kim laughed off the retaliation, pointing at Putin before retreating into the dark shadows of the garage. The night of the pay-per-view arrived, and the arena atmosphere reached a boiling point as the main event began. One by one, all 7 world leaders entered the ring, locking eyes in a historic multi-man showdown. The opening bell rang and total chaos erupted as every man targeted his fiercest rival simultaneously. Xi Jinping and Putin moved in sync, isolating Emmanuel Macron in the corner with ruthless tag-team precision. Trump tried to hide on the outside apron, watching and waiting to steal a quick pinfall on whoever fell first. Kim Jong Un suddenly slid a steel folding chair into the ring, sliding it right to Khamenei to fuel the violence. Khamenei raised the steel chair high, driving it straight into Netanyahu's midsection with brutal force. Netanyahu collapsed to the mat, and Khamenei immediately covered him to score the match's first elimination. Benjamin Netanyahu was officially eliminated, leaving the ring in absolute disbelief and rage. With Netanyahu gone, Khamenei turned his focus straight toward Trump, cornering the champion against the ropes. Out of nowhere, Kim Jong Un blindsided Khamenei from behind, executing a sudden double cross. Kim quickly rolled Khamenei into a tight pinning combination, catching everyone off guard. Ayatollah Mojtaba Khamenei was eliminated. The wild strategist Kim Jong Un had taken out a major power player. Kim turned around to celebrate, but ran straight into a massive clothesline from Vladimir Putin. Putin casually placed one foot on Kim's chest, securing the easy pinfall to eliminate Kim Jong Un. Kim Jong Un was eliminated. Now only 4 competitors remained inside the ring. Putin and Xi closed in on Emmanuel Macron, intending to wipe out the babyface challenger once and for all. Macron ducked under Xi's grab and shoved Xi straight into Putin, causing the two allies to crash into each other. Taking advantage of the collision, Macron rolled Xi from behind with a surprise crucifix pin. Xi Jinping was eliminated. The strategic mastermind was shocked as he was forced to leave the ring. Enraged by his partner's elimination, Putin locked Macron in a vice-like sleeper hold. Macron faded quickly under the pressure, collapsing unconscious onto the ring canvas. Putin made the simple cover, scoring the pinfall to eliminate Macron from the match. Emmanuel Macron was eliminated. Now only 2 men remained inside the ring, Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. Putin walked slowly toward the center of the ring, while Trump tried to talk his way out of the fight. Trump offered Putin a deal on the spot, gesturing toward the championship belt resting outside the ring. Putin paused for a moment, appearing to consider the offer, before shaking his head with a cold decline. Putin grabbed Trump by the collar, lifting him up for a final powerbomb to seal the championship. Suddenly, Benjamin Netanyahu reappeared. He sprinted back down the ramp holding a steel chair. Netanyahu smashed the steel chair straight into Putin's back, forcing Putin to drop Trump onto the mat. Netanyahu didn't care about the rules. He was determined to ensure Putin didn't win the title either. Putin collapsed into the corner, completely dazed from the illegal steel strikes. Netanyahu stepped back out of the ring, staring down at the dazed Putin with a cold, vengeful smirk. Seeing Putin completely helpless, Donald Trump slowly crawled across the ring canvas toward his fallen rival. Trump draped his arm loosely over Putin's chest, stealing the opportunistic cover at the very last second. The final pin was counted. Donald Trump had somehow survived the multi-man match to retain his championship. Trump grabbed his gold championship belt and hugged it tightly, strutting around the ring in absolute triumph. Putin recovered on the outside, glaring at Trump with a look that promised terrifying future revenge. Backstage, Xi Jinping was already drafting new corporate rules to force Trump into an even more dangerous rematch. Ayatollah Mojtaba Khamenei made it clear that his faction would continue to disrupt every single main event show. Kim Jong Un sat in the empty locker room, tossing a steel chair onto the floor with a chaotic chuckle. Emmanuel Macron looked out at the empty arena, vowing to rebuild his coalition for the next major pay-per-view. Trump stood at the top of the ramp with his title held high, convinced that no matter who challenged him, he would always reign supreme. In the wild world of the GWA, politics is played the WWE way, and in this ring, the battle for global dominance never ends.